Nope, $34.95 will get you what you need, get you the strategy, software, system, and success. We're going to go into great detail about that here in a second. So just know that $1.17 a day can transform your life forever. Anybody cool with that? Can anybody afford $1.17 a day? $1.17 a day, man. All right, so here we go. Let's get into it. $34.95. Now, it includes the system that we have that will transform your finances, but the founders of this company are so forward thinking that they said, our people, when they work hard for their money, they tend to have commitment issues, right? So $34.95 to learn some strategies. We know that that's an investment in your life. We know that that's going to transform your financial family tree forever, but most people will see it as a bill. So what the company said is, okay, let's give them some tools and some resources so when they get things that are tangible for that $34.95, they won't see it as a bill. So you get a cash flow manager software, which helps you track your record keeping. You get identity theft protection, which ID theft is the #1 crime in the world. Don't throw your peace signs like this because they can digitize your fingerprints, so you might want to do this. It's crazy out there, man. Key Law will protect your identity on the front end. Legal Club of America, how about free and discount legal services? We're talking about building all this wealth. Think you might need an attorney to help you set up a trust?
Yep.
Think you might need to talk to somebody about protecting some assets. You know, when you pass things down from one generation to another, nephew Sam likes to get his hands on. You think you want to figure out how to stop that from happening? Legal Club, free and discount legal services, tax advantages, tax preparation, guys. You know, we talk about the tax code being it is the #1 wealth building tool in the world. Did I catch that? The United States tax code is the reason people come here. It is the #1 wealth building tool in all the world. Problem with any tool, there's only a select few people who know how to use it both efficiently and effectively. And we can show you how to do that. Then credit counts, credit restoration. You hear people talk about cash is king all the time. That is true. But credit has ruled this kingdom for about 100 years. Talk about taxes, right? This is a publication IRS put out in 2005, right? And they talked about the fact that people overpaid their taxes. Now, let's go back to a previous statement. I said that how you make your money in this country determines how you tax. If you make 100% of your income with labor, then you are taxed the most. So why are the people who are taxed the most still overpaying taxes? You are already taxed the most, then you're giving Uncle Sam extra, right? Because of a simple form that most people don't know how to fill out. More than 100 million taxpayers got refunds in that particular tax year. That's 80%, right? For the average refund, that's about $40 a week, 2 months, so that's $160. Can you pay down a light bill with $160? Can you maybe cover a cell phone bill with $160? Right? So you're overpaying your taxes, and I know that most people, especially when you work hard for your money, you kind of see Uncle Sam as an enemy, right? But really, he's neutral. He says, hey, putting that money in any type of savings account or paying down debts might be a better option for you. So here's my enemy giving me the best piece of advice that I probably would have gotten in my life, right? So he's not an enemy. Guys, most working class people see him as that way because they look at that gross, they look at the net, and if you're like me, you're thinking that's gross, right? Because you see that big difference, and it's heartbreaking sometimes. But you did that. So we're mad at Uncle Sam, but I did that. $270 per month, 2 months, because I didn't understand something, right? So this is putting that money to work for you can transform your life. So what we do is we show you how that works, right? When you got your job, you filled out a form called a W-4, tax withholding certificate. Most of you guys been on the job for a long time and probably don't even remember what it looks like, right? But you filled it out nonetheless, and you told your employer how much money to withhold from your paycheck. And your employer said, okay. So they keeping that money. So we're going to help you. If you filled it out incorrectly, we want to help you get it done right. And there's actually a second page to it if you have a business where you can actually show your business on that second page. And get more money back and all that kind of stuff. But what that does is it helps you with your cash flow, right? Cash flow. Robert Kiyosaki has been screaming cash flow for a long time, right? And all we keep saying is income. Income. I need more income. I got to get a better job. I got to get a raise. Income. No. Cash flow is the key. So you look at, if you had business income of $1,247, tax savings, maybe you were overpaying a little bit more than me. It was $270 for me. Maybe you were overpaying $450. Cut down some of your expenses. You go from the grande to the medium, and maybe that saves you $125 a month. How about eliminating some debt? Because if you can get $450 back, $125 come from your savings, man, you take that $75 and you start throwing it on some debt. Every time you pay off a debt, it's like giving yourself a pay raise. Mm-hmm. Seriously. If you're spending $200 a month to manage a debt and that debt disappears, then your cash flow just go up $200, right? So that could be, debt elimination can bring an extra $800. Now, if you follow some instructions, get some perspective, and learn some terminology when it comes to investing, you can get some assets to grow for you like that, and there you go, cash flow, $5,700, right? It's really that simple. Cash flow management is a problem. See, we are some money-getting people around here, right? In fact, we are the money-gettingest people on the planet. But our problem is cash flow, in the sense that all of our cash is always flowing away from us. We want to help you get that cash flow back, flowing in the right direction, right? So, tale of two people. One family has a home-based business, the other family does not. Makes $50,000 on the job, right off the top, $18,000 is evaporated before they even see it. Bam, gone. Then, because of that $18,000 gone, you ever wonder why lenders and banks always set up all of your financing based on your gross? Because they assume you know that you're supposed to be getting close to your gross. They just assume. Listen, they're business people, so they figure that I'm going to ask you what your gross is because I know you are smart enough to make sure you're getting close to your gross because you're not overpaying taxes. They just assume that you're that smart. So when we get this loan based on our gross, we're mad because we can't pay the note with our net. And we're mad at the lender. That ain't the lender's fault. That's not the lender. We're supposed to know how to get our gross. Right? That's not the lender's fault. So now we go borrow money to get back to the $50,000 lifestyle, because when you make 50 grand, society we live in, you want to live like you make 50 grand. Right? So you're making 50 grand, you borrow to get back to it, but what you borrow, you have to pay back. So now you're paying $18,000 back, and now you're left trying to live off $14,000. That is daycare, that is after-school programs for the kids, that is vacation, that is everything you're trying to do in that $14,000, right? Home-based business, same $50,000 income, but this time, because the tax laws are written for business people, by business people, to benefit business people, they can get that gross, and this is what your banker assumes you know. They're going to pay their bills with 18 grand, and then they're going to pay taxes on the net, which is the 32, right? So taxes on 32 is 7,000, taxes on 50 is 18,000. If I had time, I'll show you what you can do with $11,000 a year at about 14% for just a few years, right? But we don't have time to go into all that. All right, so you can save money when you understand tax strategies, right? What are you spending on here? What kind of bills? Well, look, if you, right here, it says all of these things that you already spend money on already. All you guys got cell phones, right? Whether you got a business or not, you're going to pay that cell phone bill next month, right? I mean, you got internet service at the home. Whether you got a business or not, you're going to pay that, right? You're going to feed themselves at least once a day. At least once, right? Right? My kids ask me all the time, what's for dinner? I fed you already. Seriously? I fed you already, right? A little bit of entertainment, a little travel. You're going to put miles on you, whether you got a business or not. But when you add a business, now some of these things become legal, legitimate, ethical, and moral tax write-offs. So you get to Spend first, pay taxes on what's left, right? $225 per week increase because of a strategy, right? Not a sales tactic. Now, because we talk about strategy, we want you to understand how this all works. The IRS requires 3 things in order for you to take advantage of the tax code. Number 1, they require that you work your business on a regular and consistent basis, right? I do a daily morning live stream where I talk about these principles and I try to help people come to the light of entrepreneurship and building generational wealth, right? So because of that, happens every day. Working my business pretty regularly, right? Right? You gotta work your business on a regular and consistent basis. Number 2, you have to work your business in an attempt to make a profit. Every time I close that live stream, I say, hey, there's an opportunity for you to partner with this wonderful company for $35, and they will teach you the rules of the wealthy. If they decide to take me up on that offer, I make a few dollars in commission. Is that not me making an attempt to make a profit? Whether they join or not, right? It don't matter. I made a valid attempt to make a profit. And I do that every day, so that's consistency, and that's an attempt to make a profit. Third thing it requires is that you keep good records. So as part of your membership, you get a record-keeping software that helps you track your expenses, right? So, give me an example of what this software looks like. On July 3rd, I had $35.17. I spent at Red Lobster for what? A team meeting in Chicago. I don't live in Chicago, so the distance I drove from my hotel to the Red Lobster was 54 miles, so I recorded my mileage, and bam, record keeping is done. When I finished, click that little button right there, took a picture of the receipt, bam, tax accountant loves me, right? She's back there somewhere, right? Loves me, right? Then September 17th, $34.95 per month is what I invest in myself to get the rules of the wealthy in me, so that my children and my children's children and my children's children's children will never have to struggle about money. 2 things you want to have happen when you're talking about generational wealth. You not only want to be able to pass down resources, but you also want to be able to educate the next generation. Otherwise, passing down the resources mean they get squandered and your generational wealth stops at your children. So we want to pass down the resources and the knowledge, right? So that's what my $34.95 investment does. Gives me the knowledge to build the resources. Now I pass both the knowledge and the resources down to the next generation. So $34.95 a month comes out. My monthly maintenance fee comes out of my checking account. Bam, record keeping done. Then, because I tell a few people about this business on my daily live stream, my econ sends me a check, $18.53.21, right? Bonus check is what it was. Where did it come from? It came from my econ, went right into my checking. Bam, record keeping done. And this is what it looks like. This is why your tax preparer will love you, because you can print out a nice little spreadsheet just like this. And if you're dealing with an accountant that charges you by the hour and they have to go through a bunch of shoe boxes full of receipts and organize and all of that stuff, this just saved you a ton of money. Just saved you a ton of money, right? All right, so what we're gonna do really quickly, I got a couple folks I'm gonna call on for some testimonies because I want you guys to realize this thing is real. Terrence Hill is probably one of the greatest examples of what we do and how we do it. So come on up, brother, real quick, real quick. So Terrence, I want you to, first we're gonna talk about this right here. See this dapper young man right there? Holding that big old check right there? That's this guy. That's this guy. So we know the checks are real, right? But talk about what the strategies have done in your life.
Okay, and first of all, hey, thank each and every one of you guys for coming. Thank you for allowing me to share my testimony. And ladies and gentlemen, my success story has been phenomenal, and it has put me in a position to where I'm at today. But I'm gonna go back before I start applying these strategies, Cortez. See, I had more month than I had money. And I have a military background. So I owe IRS and was in debt. I had went through a divorce and got remarried and all that good stuff, right? So I brought all the baggage with me. So once we did strategy 1, it brought back $1,100 a month back into our household. And everything that you just said, by applying that $1,100, it got us out of debt. When our debt was done, our cash flow did what? It increased and it went up. So now that the cash flow went up, we got happy and excited, and we started telling people and sharing the same information that you're seeing today. And when we started sharing that same information, commission check, ching ching, that's just the way it goes. Somebody started dropping money into our account, my econ. So then we was able to start investing. Now I'm giving you the real quick version. When we started investing, okay, we started small because it don't take a whole lot of money to get started. The most important thing is you get started. Now today, we are living off of like 50% of our income. We invest 40% and we give away 10% of it, okay? I don't know if you really caught that, but we're living off of 50% of our income. And the ultimate goal is to get to living off of 10 or 20%, because then we'll be all the way into retirement. Retirement, see, everything that we work for, we just pass it down to our kids. And we're giving our kids the same knowledge. So I no longer work a job. I retired from the military after 20 years. And now my wife, we are stationed in Alaska. My wife got 3 more years right now. And she's using the same strategy because it worked for me. So I applied the same strategies for her. And by doing the same thing, we are building an asset, which is a business that's providing generational wealth, and we now have an income for life. So to make a long story short, that's my testimony.
So we are convinced that the strategies work, right? Even before his testimony, it just makes sense, right? Wait a minute. I got some money that's getting away from me. It's bleeding out, right? So if I can figure out how to get that money from bleeding out and get it back, and then if I can laser target and focus that money that is bleeding out onto my debt and get that to go away, that's going to bring back some more money. That I'm already good at laser targeting the money that I get back because I used it when I got my tax money back. I laser targeted to my debt. Now I got the money back from my debt. Now I'm going to laser target that for future generations. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, man. There's only one wealth building formula on the planet. There's only ever been one. There will only ever be one. You guys want to know what it is? You guys want to know what it is? Yes. All right. It is cash, asset, cash. That's the only wealth building formula there has ever been. I don't know if y'all get that. There's never been another way on the planet to build wealth. Well, let me take that back. Because we're in America, right? There's 3 ways to build wealth. You can buy it, build it, steal it, or inherit it, right? So let me be clear. I do know my history, right? But to build it, there's only one way to build it. You have to, and here's how simple it is to build it. We're going to finish the proper presentation, but here's how simple it is to build it. All you have to do is all you have to do is take your gifts, talents, and special abilities. Turn that into an asset called a business. That asset called a business is going to produce for you some cash. And you take that cash produced from your asset and you use it to buy and build more assets. When that becomes your life's habit, you build wealth on autopilot. Anybody cool with building wealth on autopilot? Yeah. Real quick, give me another testimony. Cornelius, come on, man. Come on, man. Got that mic from T Hill right there. Anybody else want to share? I got one more.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Cornelius Austin out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Cortez, man, thanks for the opportunity to be able to share on stage. All right, let's try it again. I'm Cornelius Austin out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Thank you again for the opportunity, Brian, man, just the investment, the connection is real. I'll just share, man, I've got about 15 to 20 years of experience in the financial, banking, life insurance, and I've never heard of income shifting. I've never heard of cash asset cash. I never heard of minimizing taxes knew the W4, so sharing the strategy, I connected, and within, let's say, $200 at the time. So $34.95, that's a reduction. It was $200 at the time. Within 3 weeks, we were able to take $200 investment and turn it into $427 in 3 weeks. Where else can you get an investment of over 200% return in 3 weeks? All right, and that was consistent every single month by taking 10 minutes to fill out a form off of an error that we corrected. So not only did we do that, you look at 6 months, we enrolled in July. In 6 months, because of record keeping, we now have a business, transformed bills into tax deductions, and we added in 6 months a total of $16,000 to our bank account in 6 months. Where else can you find that type of
You guys getting the simplicity on what it is that we do? It's not hard. See, we got one more. Now, come on, young lady. Come on. See, she's a little shy. She's very, very new, y'all. I want to. So, real quick, just tell them who you are. And your testimony isn't long, but you basically took that strategy 1, and what did you do, and then what did you do with some of that? Real quick.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's on.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm from New Orleans.
Hey. So, give it up. Hey. So, we always talk about the biggest thing that you can invest in is in yourself.
Yes.
I mean, you guys know it wasn't free for the plane ticket from New Orleans to Atlanta.
Well, I started on YouTube, and I saw Cortez. Then I found him on Facebook. And I found someone else that's in my upline, and I started watching him, and he was on every day. And I just was like, this guy's talking about. But the more I listened to him, and the more excuse me, I'm nervous. But I put the strategy in place in my life, and I started with the W4. And I saved $400 a month.
Good.
A month. My kids are grown, 28 and 30, and I have no tax deductions. And I drive 100 miles a day. So guess what? I save $400 a month on my taxes, and I decided that everybody in the building where I work, somebody's going to get this opportunity. I don't care what color you are, I'm going to sell you some kind of product.
Right.
So I get to deduct 100 miles a day in mileage. That's money.
Yes.
I drive 500 miles a week. So I'm implanting that in my life, and I'm getting out of debt. I've deleted 2 credit cards.
All right.
But I also put down 1,200 square foot of flooring because of the taxes that I saved. Because I have to get out of debt before I can move on to the next journey. And I tell you, I have 6 sisters and 1 brother, and I think everybody should want the business, but they don't. That's right. So I move on to the next person. So that's my testimony.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So simple stuff, right? Not rocket science. And guess what? People have been building wealth this way for eons, man. Just nobody decided to clue you in, right? Nobody decided to clue you in. Now you have the game plan. Now you have the blueprint. All right. Did we go to sleep over here? All right, there we go. Let me see. Let's get it back. All right. So now you know that basically what we do in business is we teach people this income shifting strategy. That's our business. That's what we do. You heard Terrence. Life transformation information. When his life transformed, he told somebody. Right? Cornelius. Life transformed, he told somebody. Jennifer. Life transformed, She's telling people. So that's basically what we do. And because we tell people, you can earn some of these big checks, right? It's Brian Bean. I told you, he's on a crusade to help as many people as possible. And 1 week, he helped so many people that my econ gave him a 5-figure check, right? How many guys like helping people? If you like helping people, and you understand that the biggest problem that most people have, even though we're in the richest country on the planet, is financial problems, you now have been empowered with a financial solution. It just made sense for me. I'm already a youth basketball coach, mentor, trainer, and I said, hey, now I can coach and train and educate people on the one area in their life that they need the absolute most help. Oh, it's a no-brainer. So you can get some of these big checks yourself. Also, some other perks for our membership, because again, we know people have commitment issues, right? So we try to give them stuff that they can put their hands on, so you know that even though the $34.95 is an investment, sometimes people don't see it. So you get the identity theft protection, cash flow manager, all of these different products and services. We have this stuff. Anybody ever heard of the term prosumer? Prosumer. A few people heard the term prosumer. What a prosumer is a professional consumer. Right? Stay with me. A prosumer is a professional consumer. Now, some of you guys are professional consumers in a bad way. I mean, because all we do is consume. But a prosumer is someone who is smart enough to recognize trends. And because of this little thing called the internet that exists, you can now become affiliate partners with these different companies. As a result, when you consume as a professional, you make sure that you get some of that money back. So now every dollar I spend has a couple of boomerangs attached, so they poof, 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 and a couple of those dollars come right back to me. Right? I'm going to spend the money anyway. So how about spending it in the way that a professional does, so that some of it always comes back in the form of a rebate, cash flow check, cash back check, some sort of incentive, and that's what we do, right? Anybody, by show of hands, anybody ever shop online at any of these stores? Right? Part of what we do, we try to simplify your life, because if you have to go out and drive miles to spend at some of these places, then that's going to cost you something, in addition to what you spend. So how about point, click, drag, and drop from your own cashback mall, spend the same money that you was going to spend anyway, and get a cashback rebate. Patronize your own business.